Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Tonight on Our News, the F&M leader accuses the new government of taking credit for the Minnis administration's hard work. A new F&M senator sworn in. A domestic abuse survivor recalls the incident that changed her life. And 2 dogs on the road to recovery after being tossed from a vehicle. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is accusing the Davis administration of taking credit for the achievements of the Minnis administration. His comments followed the release of the Ministry of Finance's 6-month report on fiscal performance. Bethany McDermott reports.
I believe the public is smart enough to know what the efforts of this present administration has produced, and the public is smart enough to know what was in train prior to the election.
Following the release of the fiscal performance for the first 6 months of 2021-2022, which revealed a 50% rise in revenue, F&M leader Michael Pintard says this is another example of the New Day government taking credit for work done under the previous administration. The report, which covers the period of July to December 2021, revealed a $465 million increase in revenue and a fiscal deficit decrease by $467 million.
It is unfortunate that the government seeks to take credit for work that had already been completed or was in train. That governments are continuous, so we ought to be measured in what we say, to acknowledge what past administrations have contributed, and then of course to take credit for what you have put in place. It doesn't detract from your leadership, and you have 5 years ahead of you, so you have ample opportunities to do things from scratch and to get the credit for having done so.
Addressing this week's press briefing, Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkias credited the increase in revenue to the rebounding of the economy and increase in stopover arrivals and hotel occupancy rates. However, credit ratings agency Moody's is calling the Davis administration's revenue growth expectations overly optimistic. It's an assessment Pintard shares.
It is overly optimistic given the fact that when you look at the means by which they say they will get there, we are unclear on what that is. And that is precisely why we believe that the government intends to raise taxes, or by stealth, they intend to dramatically increase fees in order to hit those projections. And even then, they will only come close.
Moody's also noted that if the government's efforts to improve revenue collection efficiency fail to meet the mark, it could result in a tax increase. Pintard also reiterated his view that the government failed to produce the fiscal strategy report, which is required by law.
They are required by law to provide the fiscal strategy report to the House of Assembly for debate. They have flatly indicated they have no intention to do so, that they will change the law. But until you have changed the law, you are duty-bound to comply with the law.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
Newly appointed F&M Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis receiving her letter of appointment today during a ceremony at police headquarters. She replaced Vianna Gardner, who resigned from the Senate in early January. Party leader Michael Pintard says her appointment comes as the party seeks to play a continued role in the promotion of women in leadership. However, he stresses it wasn't the only reason she was appointed.
She is just flat out brilliant, with a track record of service, and is someone who I've had the opportunity to observe from a distance. And I've seen the tremendous commitment she has to any task that has been assigned to her.
Barnett Ellis, an attorney, is a partner at Graham Thompson Law Firm. She is Pintard's first appointment since being elected leader of the F&M back in November. She pledged to stay committed to the ideals of the Free National Movement.
I have worked and will continue to work toward the fulfillment of our party's promise to the Bahamian people: equality of opportunity, transparent and transformative governance, and accountability. I promise to always remember why it all started and what we all stand for.
In other news, after enduring domestic violence in both of her marriages, a mother of 3 who lost her eye after being abused is speaking out on her experiences in the hopes of inspiring others who may be in similar situations. Cale Campbell reports.
It was a night that changed her life. Domestic abuse survivor Philippa Smith lost her right eye during an incident involving her second husband. She shared her story on Royal Bahamas Police Force broadcast talk show, Cop Talk.
Can't remember the whole thing because it was a while. And in the midst of the arguing and the scuffle and the fighting, I just remember the hit. I don't know if he punched me because I can't tell you that, but I remember he had a Guinness. But if he had a Guinness ball, I think he might have shot it, but I remember the punch. And all I said to him, I can't. And when I said I can't sleep, the whole place was dark. So I just scuffled to try to find my phone and stuff because my cousin was out there. And he left me right there.
Smith was rushed to hospital as blood drained from her eye socket. She went into surgery where doctors did what they could.
They sewed that piece there and just put it there so it would look. I got supposed to try to get a false eye. And it's still there. And I went back.
Love.
Back after 8 months after, and everything calmed down. I went back. I love this man so much. I went back.
Smith had planned to pursue charges against her second husband over the incident. However, she says she eventually dropped the charges after being persuaded to do so by her husband.
When we went to court the first time, he tried a glimpse over. He tried a glimpse over to see how I looked. And I guess when he saw my eye, I guess it was the plans that whoever was with him had to tell him, say, boy, if you don't try to get to her, you're going to jail for a very long time.
Yes.
And me still loving him and still looking at the good that he's done for me and my kids.
The mother of 3, 2 sons and a daughter, says she sought to educate her children on domestic violence, stressing to her daughter the importance of avoiding toxic situations and raising her sons not to become abusers.
Like my older son, he have a girlfriend, and if she called me and if I felt like something wrong, I say, I am not scared to lock you up, son. I say, because you know what I've been through. And I always teach you to love. A woman's supposed to be loved and cherished, never supposed to be abused. And I tell myself the day or tomorrow you put your hand to any woman, I am calling the police myself. And I am making sure you pay the time. Because what you're doing to somebody else, someone else already did it to your mother.
For our news, I'm Cale Campbell.
One day after the State Minister for Social Services suggested the gender-based violence bill will likely address marital rape, a women's group is urging the Davis administration to bring it before cabinet and enact it. After seeing firsthand the horrors that victims of abuse have endured, members of Women United stress that without government intervention and funding, this social crisis will get worse. Vonique Toot reports.
This battle, we're at the beginning.
While she applauded State Minister for Social Services Lisa Ramming for helping to keep the issue of gender-based violence on the front burner, attorney Lisa Bothwick-Dean pointed out there is a long way to go before the NGOs fighting on the front lines get the assistance and funding they need to assist victims of abuse.
The first step is it still needs to get to cabinet. Yes. This bill is not yet before cabinet. So even though it's being spoken to by those in government now, we mustn't become complacent and say, okay, they heard us.
Yes. Yeah.
Good, we're on the move. No. This bill is not yet before cabinet.
Right.
And then once it gets to cabinet, we still have to press to say, present it, lay it over in the House and debate it, please. Once it's debated and passed and comes back from the Senate, it's passed, we then still have to press and say, enact it.
On Thursday, Ramming told reporters that a proposed gender-based violence bill would likely address marital rape. However, she could not give a timeline for the completion of the bill. The Office of the Prime Minister then pointed out the proposed legislation has not yet gone before Cabinet. Bothwick-Dean, who served in the Senate until 2021, said she had the opportunity to see the bill, which creates an overarching trust which would register NGOs and be funded with an estimated $2 million to support approved projects.
The bill also, on the law enforcement side, seeks to unite all the different elements that are currently available. You know, sometimes you hear a woman say, I called the police to come, but the police told me I need to get social services. I need a social services report. I go this way, and they go, why didn't you call the police? And it's a frustrating circle like this.
We need it centralized.
And so you need it centralized into one place.
Women United, which has blossomed to over 500 members since it was formed in 2018, has helped women to flee toxic situations by putting a roof over their heads and securing jobs.
A woman, in many ways sometimes doesn't even see the pattern of abuse because of the lack of education that's there and understanding for her. So we have to pay attention to that. Once she does, now we have the whole system, where do I live, as you said. He's holding all the money. He's the man. I'm going to lose my roof. My kids don't have school tuition. They don't have food. Nobody's going to take me in. My family says, stay with your man. You're married. You got through, good times and bad times. You have a vow. So where's the support?
Group member Sheila Farrington-Pritchett fears that without help, the worst is not over.
We have to look out for one another. We have to, especially in circumstances like this, trying times like this, and things aren't getting any better. They're getting worse. We haven't seen how bad it's going to get. So we've got to encourage everyone to come together.
And you see, Sheila, several times we've had women on the brink of suicide say, I'm done, I can't do this no more, and I give up, and I thank you all for what you've done, and we have to hurry up, step in, and provide intervention.
Founder Podesta Moore says WU members dig deep to pay rent for some families for 3 months as they search for long-term accommodations. With government resources, though, she believes they can do so much more.
We've paid just recently rent to secure this, family. So these kinds of things is what we're trying to do, and try to make it more sustainable. And that's why, from time to time we said, where's the government? We get calls from social services asking us to assist, but we have to be able to do this together.
Reporting for our News, I'm Vonique Jude.
Temperatures expected to hit the low 70s overnight. Meteorologist Greg Thompson has the latest in the Weather Center. Good evening, Greg.
Thanks, Christina, and welcome everybody on this Good Friday evening. Beautiful conditions once again outside our studios. Temperatures comfortable in the low 70s. 73 outside our studios under mostly clear skies. Your winds are out of the east-southeast at 5 miles per hour. They're falling off. Your feels-like temperature in the low 70s. On our satellite, ridge of high pressure still dominating our weather. It's starting to slide out towards the east, but the western side of that ridge is still jutting out across us, continuing to dominate our weather. Some nice conditions. We are watching a frontal boundary across the southeastern United States and the Gulf of Mexico. We expect that to get near sometime late on Saturday and into Sunday, but it's not expected to go through. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, why a former F&M MP says he believes the party is still struggling. And the Humane Society sounds the alarm on animal neglect and cruelty. That's coming up when our news returns.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
As the Free National Movement gears up for its convention later this month, former Pine Ridge MP Frederick McAlpine says he's not impressed by the direction the party is heading in. Despite the change in leadership, McAlpine reveals he remains on the fringes of the party. Jasmine Brown reports.
Months after their popular Grand Bahama MP lost his seat, he is speaking out about the current state of the Free National Movement. McAlpine says while new leadership bodes well for the party, he doesn't think the Free National Movement is in a good place.
There are people who are now supporting Michael Pintard that did not like Michael Pintard prior to his election or his elevation to leadership. So if they didn't like him then, I hope he has enough political savvy to understand that if they didn't like you 2 years ago, what makes you think they're in love with you now? Other than to control you or to use you as a pawn to get who they really want there.
After not receiving a nomination from the F&M, McAlpine ran as an independent candidate in the September 16th general election. The Pine Ridge incumbent lost his seat but captured the largest block of votes among the independent or third-party candidates, outperforming the FNM's Pine Ridge candidate. During his time as an FNM MP, McAlpine frequently criticized the former administration on a number of its policy choices, including the decision to raise value-added tax.
You know what's kind of difficult, and it's becoming difficult even for the Free National Movement? You can't tell me you for the people now, and you sat there and allowed the former leader to destroy the party and many lives in the country. And now you want to convince me you for the people, but you never sacrifice your position, your prestige, or money for the people.
McAlpine says while many people have asked if he will return to the Free National Movement, he says no one of substance from the party has reached out.
I'm prepared to assist. I'm prepared if you're prepared to be sincere. If the Free National Movement is prepared to be sincere, I'm sincere. And I'm willing to speak up on behalf of the people. But I'm going to tell you quite frankly, people are tired of both political organizations in this country.
But he says that will not derail his plans to return to frontline politics.
If Obadiah Wills come, the Honorable Obadiah Wills come, and Alfred says, the Honorable Alfred says, and the Honorable Keith Bell, and there was somebody else, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, if all of them could come back, certainly there's hope for me.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, the Humane Society reporting a spike in animal abuse cases. The organization hopes to raise awareness of a disturbing trend of abused animals. Sharika Johnson has more.
3 neglected and malnourished pit bulls are on a long road to recovery after 2 of them were thrown from a vehicle and the other was found emaciated and heavily chained. Puppies Dunmore and Chippy were reportedly tossed from a car, then chased into bushes before they were rescued by an animal ambulance. The incident represents the alarming increase in animal abuse cases seen by vets at the Humane Society.
There's a lot out there that we don't see, but this week, I think, due to the heightened media exposure with the very unfortunate pit bull attack, people have noticed a lot of pit bulls, in specific, in dire need, tied up, discarded. I think maybe people are getting afraid.
When Dunmore and Chippy came to the animal hospital, they were sick and starved. Dr. Issa Hansen believes they would have died if not for quick medical attention.
I'm going to do some tests on them, like 4DX, which is to check for ehrlichiosis, heartworm. They might be a little too young to find heartworm, but again, we still do the test. It's a general test that you want to make sure that they don't have it. Then we go from there. We may have to take some blood too to do some general blood panel check for the internal organs to see how everything is working.
3-year-old Valley girl who was reportedly used for breeding weighs a little more than 31 pounds. Moody says though she is making progress, she was depressed and weak when she was rescued. Moody says the owners wanted her euthanized, but the vets saved her.
Right now, with the economic stress of the past 2 years, people don't have money to buy pit bull puppies, so once they're of no more use, they're discarded.
With lots of love, medical care and donations, all of the dogs are expected to make a full recovery. Fostered, then adopted. If you're in need of assistance with your pet, the organization encourages you to reach out for help. For our News, I'm Sharika Johnson.
When our news comes back from the break, contractors weigh in on the housing minister's construction goals. The details when our news returns.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
This is our news. Welcome back. Interim president of the Bahamian Contractors Association, Leonard Sands, says he thinks the housing minister's goal of 1,600 homes in this term is a realistic one. Cale Campbell reports.
Though New Providence is densely populated, Bahamian Contractors Association interim president Leonard Sands says he believes the construction of 1,600 new homes during the Davis administration's term in office is possible, especially when you factor in the land available on the Family Islands.
Gail, we are Nassau-centric, and it's our fault because we grew up here. We understand this demographic, this climate, but it is the Bahamas is Grand Bahama could take 10,000 homes just in the landmass. Andros could take 25,000 homes. Just in the landmass, but obviously the population center is not there, so it makes no sense to do that.
Smith said the BCA is in full support of the minister's endeavors, believing as providing housing for Bahamians is important no matter who is in power. He added investing in the industry could provide a boost to the economy.
We're excited about at least the possibility of a lot of work happening from this development, so we would applaud her effort and support everything which she has to do in achieving 1,000+ homes, and I think it's doable.
As she embarks upon the ambitious goal of her ministry overseeing the construction of 1,600 houses, Sands advises Colby Davis to learn from her predecessors.
Shane Gibson did 1,000 homes. So to say it's not possible, we already know it is possible, and I think everyone should be excited about the possibility that we can have 1,000 homes for Bahamians to occupy who've been waiting on this list that the ministry had to admit is pent-up demand. Tens of thousands of Bahamians are waiting on homes. So the first 1,000, I think, is absolutely possible.
Sands says focus on construction management will be important for the minister going forward. Reporting for our News, I'm Cale Campbell.
Looks like beautiful weather ahead. Greg is back with the weekend weather outlook when our news returns.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back to our news. Sunny skies all weekend. Greg is back with a look ahead at weather.
Thanks again, Christina, and welcome back, everybody, for our second look at weather. That ridge of high pressure is still the dominant weather feature across our area. Beautiful sunny conditions, warmer temperatures. The temperatures got into the low 80s. That ridge is going to slide out towards the east over the next 24 to 36 hours. That's going to be paving the way for a frontal boundary across the Gulf of Mexico and the southeastern United States. Should get near the northern Bahamas, stall, and that should continue through the weekend. We expect some showers out of the system across the northwest Bahamas as that system hangs out across our area into early next week, and we expect it to fizzle out before it does anything for us. Boating conditions for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Small craft using caution because we still have some swells out there. Winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet near shore, but up to 6 feet offshore. Your high tide will be at 10:33 tonight for the southeast Bahamas. A caution flight posted for you guys down there as well. Northeast to easterly flow, still breezy, 15 to 20 knots. Seas 4 to 6 feet near shore, but up to 8 feet offshore in some northeasterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Friday. Warmer temperatures into the weekend and a cold front stalling by the northern Bahamas. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.